I had to stop watching the press conference for the Eddie Hall versus Hafthor Bjornsson fight, which is apparently happening this Saturday. Marco Rubio in the United States introduced some legislation to make daylight savings time permanent. What that means is that the arbitrary numbers on the clock will be always permanently about 1 hour forward relative to the average sun up and sun down in time zones in the United States compared to the rest of the world. So like, the rest of the world, the sun comes up at 6, in the United States it comes up at 7. So if you get up at 6, it's still dark. Of course, that doesn't really mean anything because time is only means anything relative, right? What are we going to define as the absolute time zero? Doesn't matter. So it doesn't really matter how you define the time, but at least it would get rid of the time change. But it hasn't gone through the entire government yet. The Ukraine is also in ruins. Usually, like, I get 0 views on these videos. And I have roughly 18 subscribers, with some, like, kind of flaky 1 or 2 that appear and disappear occasionally. So, people that are subscribed to my YouTube channel at this point generally do not watch these. So, you watching it probably aren't somebody who really knows much about me, or aren't likely isn't like someone who subscribed or someone who kind of watches the channel. It's just some random person who happened to click on this, which again is also kind of unlikely because this is labeled as like a part 12 of something. So, like, you wouldn't click on this as opposed to the part 1, if, of course. So I don't know why you'd be watching this. In fact, yeah, kind of random. I don't know, like, what's your... I forgot how to play this game. Like... Yeah, I forgot what I was doing. It's like, I don't know if you're a man or a woman. I don't know if you're single, divorced, a widow, married. I don't know, like, what god you serve, what your political allegiances are, what's your worldview. And because I am some random person in the United States somewhere, to which you do not know my face, you don't know where I live very more specifically than that, you don't know what my name is, there isn't necessarily anything I can do to help you. Or necessarily, there just straight up isn't. Besides telling you basic stuff like, Jesus rose from the dead, and the purpose of his death is for the remission of sins. Anyway, I was supposed to, record Ace Attorney today, I guess according to my loose schedule, but for some reason I felt like doing this as opposed to Ace Attorney. I don't know what was going through my head necessarily. Oh, gee. Okay. Wait, don't I have another gun? Okay. Yeah, I'm playing this instead just because I felt like it. Which I guess is kind of against my agenda to say because, you know, what kind of caused me to feel like it is because I was thinking about this game. My first like starts of my thoughts were um, how much it kind of didn't really like it that much. Mostly because there's nothing particularly intriguing about the story. It's supposed to be a mystery, but it's evident that it doesn't really take itself that seriously. And how the gameplay is kind of like it's very difficult to argue like why it's really not so good, because there is a lot of variety of mechanics involved. Um, these guys are dodgy. Bumped into me. Oh goodness. I don't know. I'll just play. It killed a bunch of times over.
The sudden stop hits theaters tonight. I can't believe I'm missing an Alex Casey movie for this.
Okay, check the map. Okay, we're gonna go into the Prime Candidate program. Just trying to get to the next control point before I go off on side missions. So that's closed. So we want to pick up things to launch as soon as we get in there, though. Because we're going to get attacked as soon as I go around this corner. The chair guys, which charges, so that's great. Yeah, so figure out a way how to damage him over and over again quickly, which is not easy. Especially considering how well it dodges, like, it can dodge your, launch. It's brutal. Okay. Need some stuff to launch at this guy. Took out there, but hopefully it was something. Gotcha. See if there's any collectibles strewn around down here. P6's room. There's P7's room. Okay, P7 I presume is Jesse. Down as well, right? Okay, there's a lot to look through. I guess we'll check the rooms first, because yeah, there's a lot to go. There's a lot in this like area. Is this open now if I go the other way? There's another entrance. These cases.
I can see you're upset, Meg. Why don't you tell Uncle Mr. Bones what's wrong?
I did bad on my clairvoyance test.
You can't ace every test, Meg. You see, everyone has different brains. Some brains can talk to each other. We call this ESP.
ESP?
Some brains can lift objects like a baseball. Talk about a fly ball, eh, Meg? No interruptions! So who cares if you fail your clairvoyance test? Maybe your brain can throw baseballs, or talk to dead people, or make friends blind. Once we know what your brains can do, we'll know what job to give you. And if your brains are just right, you'll get to sit in the big chair.
What if I don't want the big chair?
What if I don't want the big chair?
Everyone wants the big chair, Meg!
That's why we're all here. Use those brains to listen for once, or the only chair you'll get in is the one with straps.
It was a good one for once. It's sitting on like some black rock. Okay, so it's a shiny in here. Where are you? Something to interact with over here. There you are. Fright Falls, an unconfirmed threshold manifestation at Cauldron Lake, Washington, resulting in a fictional story written by the author Alan Wake, creating an AWE in which the reality was altered to match that of the story, though only locally and for a limited time. Mr. Kirkland, head of investigations, was alerted on September 13, 2010 by ex-Bureau agent Frank Breaker that an AWE event was taking place in Bright Falls, WA. Refer to events investigated by 1970, 1976, and 1978. Okay. Breaker has received a call from Barry Wheeler, Alan Wake's literary agent, on behalf of Breaker's daughter, Sarah, who is the current sheriff of Bright Falls. A Bureau field team arrived at the site 2 days ago, only to confirm that the event was over. Interviews were conducted, referred to 1970, Thomas Zane, 1976, 1978, Odin Anderson, Tor Anderson. Alan Wake was believed to blank investigator. Eyewitnesses reports highlight an old light switch, possibly object of power, that blank missing. Wake was not found at the scene. Reports claim he dived into the lake, but nobody was recovered in the search. Cool. Mirror supplement. Blank. She was admitted to a mental ward for emotional instability soon after relocating to Illinois with her family in 1914. The item only appears to record again in 2006, when the Bureau investigated a sudden rise in disappearances in Blank, Illinois. Agents found the item hanging in the local library. They contained it quickly, though the missing people of the town were never recovered. Date August 18, 1915. We certified that the case of Mrs. Blank has shown her to be a lunatic under the reasons of hysteria, bad company, and imaginary female trouble. Her fixation with the family losing glass is noteworthy. Family looking glass is noteworthy, though not an uncommon matter when considering the female disposition. Mrs. Carver is a fit subject of the lunatic asylum and will remain in its confines until her affliction has passed. Signed, Dr. Blank. Just reading it. No affiliation.
Stepping to the FBC.
Okay. Cool. I have somewhere to teleport from. Okay. To teleport to maintenance from, so we can't do that. If we run out of time, we won't be able to do that anyway. Which may mean I should take a priority trying to find a control point. But I won't waste time.
I wish things had gone differently in Ordinary for us. But wishing won't change things. Finding the projector will.
Ordinary. So much coming together in this one case. A new object of power, something we have not seen before. I mean, coming from me, that's saying something. The boy, Dylan Faden, prime candidate 6. And the sister as well. Once we catch up with her, but the boy, that's so much potential. We're talking Northmore level readings here. And I don't want to invoke his name, but it's completely different circumstances here. It's remarkable. There was an incident. Yes. We lost a valuable member of our team, yes. Excessive force. Dylan has so much. But he's just a kid. I'll take the blame. He needs some slack. I mean, boys will be boys. He's exceptional and under a lot of stress. Roberts got killed. It's an unfortunate accident, that's all. Marshall needs to realize this. We will make this work. We'll make this work.
Transcript of conversation. Subject Dylan Faden for review by Dr. Darling. Confidential. Note, subject was alone during this outburst. Dylan Faden, you again. I thought I told you to leave me alone. Dylan Faden again. Why are you showing me this? I can't do anything. Can't you see where I am? Why don't you help me get out of here? You always show me things I can't do anything about. Stop showing me her. I don't care anymore. I don't care about you. You both left me here to rot. I will dig out my own brains if I means getting rid of you. I don't want you here. Senator repeated the phrase that numerous times before being sedated. Just to make it red. Case summary. Agent killed during blank involving blank blank codename P6. Prime candidate, or Dylan Faden is the blanks here. Okay. Blunt force injuries to the head and neck. Excessive trauma to the abdominal region. Lacerations and contusions of the upper and lower torso. Fracture of the spinal cord between L1 and L2 vertebrae. Avulsion fracture, the 3rd through 10th ribs, left and right. Blunt force injuries to the extremities. Abrasions, lacerations, and concussions of extremities. Dislocation of left and right elbow, dislocation of left and right knee. After examination, it was determined the cause of death was internal bleeding that occurred when the blank was contorted through his blank. Basically, if you kidnap someone and hold them against their will in some random weird place, they will not like it. They're just like, boy. Darling's response to that is, he's under a lot of stress and boys will be boys. It's like, yeah, and kidnappers would be kidnappers, aren't liked generally by boys. This is the room
Is
for...
this what Dylan wanted me to see? It doesn't matter. We need to find that projector.
Okay. Oh, that's gonna be a code for something. Okay, I got an outfit. Eastward movement cause for concern. That's only 1 month's worth. Okay, so this is her travel to the oldest house, I presume. Okay.
All the times I felt paranoid, I was right. The Bureau could have given me the answers, but they just stood by and watched me.
This is the reason why to buy a 4K monitor. Although I don't know if in 4K you'd be able to read this either. Shoplifting, apparently. She went on a date, apparently.
We used to play there all the time. Me and Dylan. And other kids as well. We loved it. This time, I remember, was different. We found a way in, deeper into it, like it had shifted. We went inside, and that's where we found the slide projector.
A dump is a place for lost things. Things that have been thrown away. Did you ever feel that way when you were growing up, Jesse?
What? No. Yes, but that has nothing to do with...
Was there a slide projector at your home when you were small?
No.
Those were before your time, I suppose. But your family did look at photos together, maybe. In one form or the other?
Maybe.
When was this? Can you remember? At parties? Barbecues? How did it make you feel? Did your parents ever show pictures that embarrassed you? Was alcohol ever involved at these parties? Did your parents drink? Did that make you uncomfortable?
No. That's just stupid. Come on. That has nothing to do with this. Nothing.
The slide projector, let me ask you this. As a child, did you ever fantasize about worlds inside pictures? Inside a painting? You know, stepping into a painting, into a hidden world, escaping and finding adventure there, away from your parents.
I don't think so. I don't remember. Maybe. I don't know.
Go back to the beginning. The opening crawl is the one I didn't get. See anything else? Okay, it's the way to continue. Let's see what's on the bottom floor. It's here. That's where you'd think there would be an interactable, but there isn't. Okay, and this just kind of twists as you go forward, I guess. Nothing actually in the twisted, just twisting. Cardboard only. Well, Alice Wake, Mr. Wake's wife, was found during the Bureau investigation. She was interviewed and evaluated. She showed signs of severe mental trauma in the form of blank memory loss. She was later directed to treatment. It was concluded that she had been trapped in the threshold during its manifestation. Notable individuals still missing from the Bright Falls event are FBI Special Agent Robert Nightingale and Dr. Emil Hartman, referred to as the Creator's Dilemma in the file RE, the Cauldron Lake Lodge. Bureau researchers believe this event was the result of a forceful perception of subjective reality, stemming from Mr. Wake, overlapping on our own. Wake has been flagged as a potential para-utilitarian. See Prime Candidate Program files for more details. In 2011, a book by Clay Stewart titled The Alan Wake Files was published by Roundabout Press, New York and Olympia. Agents interviewed Clay Stewart and suspected minor para-utilitarian sensitivity. He was placed under indefinite surveillance. Notes, a monitoring station was established at Cauldron Lake to alert the Bureau of any future activity.
We used to play there. They studied what happened in Ordinary here. That's the place to start looking.
to look in. I'm not ready for elevators yet. So one place to go, it seems, besides the elevator, and that's do this door. Let's check the weapons mods. Okay, we have a 4 level of this. We have a lot of these spin accuracies. We can deconstruct this one. Projectile speed. It's just projectile speed, so give it a zooms. Two of each, so we can deconstruct this one. So we can deconstruct that as well. Rest of these. Now we're probably going to put 3 of the same mod, so I mean 3 of the same mod. Use 3 of the same mod. Inventory list of recovered materials: a hollow sphere, stone-like material, vitrified soil, pieces of various sizes and colors, animal carcass, possibly canine, rusted metal bucket, leather jet wallet, aged shotgun cartridge. All materials to go to the investigation sector for further analysis. This is supposed to connect to something, but see it. Well, time to go into this absolute, like, terrible place we're gonna have to go into next. I'm gonna have grip. Yeah, grip at the ready, and if there's no one immediately launching at me, I'll go back to Pierce.
Both prime candidates. Experiments.
So, Pierce. right before the control point. Just like, no, they're not. They're gonna let me get all the way there. Okay. New York City subway? Really?
We're going back home. Of course we are. It started there, and it's never gone away.
Okay. I'm gonna go check the missions now. Dr. Underhill. Let's see, old friends. So Atlas Chamber, Blackrock Processing, Ventilation, Blackrock Quarry, Coolant Pumps, Energy. So those are all in maintenance. Okay. Japanese Paper Lantern. Let's see where those are. Containment Sealed Threshold Hall. And Dead Letters. Where's the Sealed Threshold Hall? Haven't gotten there yet. Okay, so I'll go until I get to the Sealed Threshold Hall. Whatever that is. Oh, I see it on the map. Okay. Or should I go down to maintenance to defeat stuff? I'm gonna take a little detour just to be, you know, for some variety and go down to maintenance and defeat things. So let's fast travel to the Atlas Chamber.
Ranger buddies. I should find the others.
There we go. Friends. So we have a track. Okay, let's go to Blackrock Processing now. Ventilation. Why not? Okay. So we need Cho. Ventilation. That way. Okay. There it is.
Another patch for me.
something with when I figure out what to do with the vending machines. See, we have Blackrock Processing, Blackrock Quarry, coolant pumps, and energy converters. Pretty far from all those things. Okay. Just need to get to the control point. See the pickup in there? I don't know where you run to exactly. So I'll leave it be for now. I might have already been in there. Check the constructs. Oh. Upgrade grip. Upgrade spin. Upgrade shatter. We have enough to do that. Upgrade charge. We have enough to do that. Grip. Okay. Real equipped though, I changed the loadout. Well, so you have board countermeasure where charge in executive, his troopers in maintenance. Okay. To coolant pumps. Okay. Oh, I need to put a mod on grip, don't I? I don't need to, but it makes sense to. So I can put damage while low on health. Headshots are pointless. Damage against armor. All cost. Damage after kills. Rate of fire. Yeah, probably just straight up damage is probably the best. Okay. Whew. Why is it so... door closed? This is so anticlimactic. Okay. Pause here temporarily. Okay, I'm back. I just had to take my dinner out of the oven. So, it'll cool down while I do this. No.
Old squad made of Horatius.
Is it gone? Yes. Okay then. Well, I'm here just because I'm here. I'm going to check something out. Now that I have levitate, I should be able to go up here. Oh. But the door's still closed, so I can't. I can just get to the door. Sweet. So I get to 2 more doors, so I just can't open them, so it doesn't matter. Okay. Fast travel 2. One for Blackrock processing. Okay, I go to Atlas Chamber. It's the closest, I guess. I'm going the wrong way. You go in here first, though. Oh, and unlock that door from the other side. Cool. That's good to do for me, but... pick up some stuff so I can throw as soon as I get in.
Arish said.
Okay. It's control point. Okay, back us back up to the Atlas chamber. Looks like I have. Okay. Health boost. Okay. Let's see here. Melee tactics. What? Use grip. Kill enemies with headshots. Oh, okay, well. I can only get 3 at a time? Well. Did I just like discard a board countermeasure? That is not good. That is a big oof. Okay. Still not enough source for any of this. Okay, now I gotta go to Blackrock Quarry. I hate this place. Oh gosh. Okay.
They didn't stand a chance without HRAs.
That was it? To energy converters entrance. Okay. Some stuff. You. This guy's gonna be able to dodge all my launches, so I have to basically shoot him.
Arish saw it coming, though. I should get these back to him.
to Central Executive. That was an easy one.
Fuck, if they're in there, we go around that way. No.
Here are the pouches. I found 6.
Well, that's all of them. Not counting mine. Well, I guess I'll just have to wear all of them. It sounds sappy, I know, but... well, that's all I can think to do.
Nothing's easy with the hiss. Is it rude to ask what's inside? What's inside the pouches? Too late now.
Now, the story's confidential, but, well, I guess I can tell you, being the director and all. So, the Bureau had heard rumors of a werewolf gathering upstate every full moon. Us being rookies, they sent us to confirm it was bullshit.
Hold on, is he about to tell me werewolves are real?
Turns out, there was an altered item that was creating violent gravitational anomalies during full moons. Oh, man, we nearly bid it that night. Well, to remember the occasion, we all bought silver bullets to wear around our necks, just in case we ever ran into another werewolf.
So why did you leave the Rangers?
Thought I could do more good here. Somebody's got to protect the people who protect everybody else, right?
Okay.
I have to go.
Me too. You're not the only one who's busy, you know. Stop by any time.
Got kill enemies in maintenance, kill enemies in executive with charge, kill mold. Okay. This one, go to Central Research.
Good luck out there.
This is going to Central Research anyway, so... Though I'm going to type a lot of Rangers, but I'll need some nodes. would that be? Just went up by Dr. Darling's office. Ah, there we go. Cool. Shins. Okay. Thresholds have always been sources of great inspiration and great challenge. When a new threshold manifests in the oldest house by blank, we never know what new discoveries it will provide the Bureau, but we must always seize these opportunities. This report will examine the process of distinguishing recent threshold effects based on their utilitarian properties. The quarry brought black rock, one of the most valuable discoveries, but if the mold has any scientific value, it has been difficult to find due to the length we must go in fighting back the particularly prolific plant. There are very different cases and worth comparing, as their study offers vastly different dangers and rewards. Cool. Just in case my duration isn't long enough, I decided to play it safe on the landing there. Okay. Collectibles in here? Well, see if there's any weapons mods that I can get rid of here. Ooh. That one. That's a better version of that one, right? So. now. It's just a regular jump was needed. Is that a better launch efficiency? So I equipped a 18% and that's a 18%, okay. Well, this one can deconstruct. Those level 1 things.
Careful in there, ma'am. Area's under quarantine.
I wouldn't go in there without talking to Underhill first.
Even if you have, I still wouldn't go in.
This is weird. Going mapless here. Deal with like nonsense for. Figure out how to avoid. Maybe use the shield.
Careful in there, ma'am. Area's under quarantine.
I wouldn't go in there without talking to Underhill first.
Even if you have, I still wouldn't.
Boy, how I hate weapons mods full. Okay. I don't need that one. Agents noticed a transient commonly found outside the entrance of the Bureau headquarters could carry the item and loudly claim to be responsible for the lack of inclement weather. The frequency of these claims attracted the personal interest of Dr. Darling. In interviews disguised as casual conversations, the transient reported that the item gives me clouds when it's hot and sun when it's not. An event of note occurred during a heavy downpour when the vagrant was witnessed performing a possible ritual with the item. Dr. Darling reported a wait of blank seconds before the rain stopped. The vagrant was seized the next day. After blank, he was found to possess no blank and was released. The item remains in Bureau custody under suspicion of altered status, though this still has not been proven. All known variations of identification formulas have failed to elicit a response from the item. Get out of here. So frustrating.
Area's under quarantine. I wouldn't go in there without talking to Underhill first. Even if you have, I still wouldn't go in.
Still couldn't get him. Still tried to compel one of them. You have to run all the way back. Is there a control point? Like, no, not really. There's not a more convenient control point.
Careful in there, ma'am. Area's under quarantine.
I wouldn't go in there without talking to Underhill first.
Even if you have, I still wouldn't go in.
Excuse me? Are you lost?
Hello, Raya. How is it going down there? Enjoy the mold so far? Settling back into life at the old FBC? I also wanted to ask how your coffee with Emily went. She's a star on the rise, incredibly bright, extremely intuitive. But I want to hear what you think of her. I think you two could be very good on a project together. You'll learn a lot from each other. Let's get together and chat about it soon. Anyway, sorry for the interruption. I'm sure you can't think of anything besides the mold right now. You always were a woman of focus. I always admired that about you. Casper. Okay. I want you to know how my mold research is getting on, Casper. Here it is. Microscopic organisms similar in appearance to Blank construct the architecture of the mold. I do not understand if these are the original disseminators of the mold or are bitten by some fungal infection. The mold is the most prolific and durable organism I've ever seen. I theorize there is a mold source located somewhere on our side of the threshold, rooted here to accelerate growth in our dimension. I refer to this yet unknown source as Mold 1. The mold produces an enticing aroma to encourage human consumption of itself. It propagates in the chest cavity and quickly consumes the entire body, seizing control of motor functions. This behavior was not observed when I first arrived. Means the mold has adapted to our presence, targeting our biological imperatives as a way to spread. It's a truly ingenious little thing. A full report has been ready soon. Keep your slacks on. Okay. Dr. Darling's recently penned essay titled something contains some glaring omissions that I feel I must shine a light on. Firstly, the entire premise of the essay is that the quarry threshold is beneficial to the Bureau, while the mold is actively hostile to use his words. We cannot determine the worth of these dimensions in their lifetime forms using bureaucratic definitions. Secondly, the mold is much more beneficial than some rock. If the blank creating the mold are reconfigured in their purpose, the structures they could build would rival the greatest skyscrapers. The mold's resistance to various strains of disease we've attempted to introduce could be derived into blank. Yet admittedly, this application is more difficult than picking up a rock and gluing it to a wall, but I pause to wonder when the Bureau lost its eagerness for a challenge. Okay.
Do you normally barge into people's private workspaces?
She clearly doesn't know who she's talking to. Shouldn't you be in a safe room?
Why? Because of those hiss things the Rangers keep going on about. Haven't you people sorted that out yet? The situation down here could spell doom for the Bureau.
You mean this mold?
Correct. Perhaps you could help me. I require samples of various mold strains, and the mold has made the environment far too dangerous for me to fetch them myself.
Really? Mold samples? I thought this could spell doom.
It could, and it will, whoever you are. The mold is spreading. We need to find the source before it spreads too far.
And these samples will do that?
No. Samples of 5 unique strains, when blended properly, will allow you to travel deeper into the pit where I've pinpointed the approximate location of the source of the mold.
Okay. So what do these samples look like?
Similar to the one on my table there. I've made a list of the samples I need. Here. You'll find them throughout the threshold.
I'll take a look. My name's Jessie, by the way.
I'm sure it is.
Okay.
Thanks for the information.
My pleasure.
So sweet down here. Suddenly really hungry. I wonder how this mold tastes. Are those people?
Okay, they can miss, in theory. I win? Let's get the sample.
Found one. This must be one of the samples.
Looked in here before, I didn't see anything. I guess we gotta go to the restroom next. Already looked in here, right? RPG.
One of Underhill's samples.
Stepping to the FBC, let's rush to do, let's rush to be, but you don't dash and don't scream much. Let's join the Thresher Kids. Let's join the Thresher Kids.
Fixed. Building shifts occur at random and without warning, but with the Bureau's cutting-edge technology, we can stabilize the oldest house. Safe employees are happy employees. Certain rituals allow agents to navigate the oldest house as well. But accidents do happen. Trapping agents inside the walls. I heard you got stuck in your room for 3 days, Topher. Too bad you didn't have your book with you. Or any food. And remember, kids, when you feel the floor deviate, it's already much too late.
Sweet. Oh, there we go.
Gross. Underhill is gonna owe me for this.
I have to go down to the pit for the last one, right? Be a vending machine, I don't know. Just don't go down there.
This looks like a good one.
You need to get back up.
That's all 5 samples. I should get these back to Underhill.
You look like a woman with mold for me.
In my, hyperspace arsenal.
I found all 5, but I kind of wanted to eat them.
The mold has that effect on some people. Likely due to the fact it's not actually mold, or even of this dimension. I suspect it is the result of 2 incompatible molecular structures, one dominant, coming into contact. I call it mold, or fungus, because it's closer in appearance and behavior than anything else we know. Except perhaps bacteria.
She reminds me of my old biology teacher.
Did you happen to meet any more members of my ranger detail?
I didn't see any rangers. Just walking mold people. Unless...
Yes. If you found mold people, you found my rangers. I refer to the creatures as hosts. They, like other unwary agents, succumbed to the appetite. But that's nothing for you to worry about. The pill I'm about to make with these samples will make the lower level perfectly safe to traverse. It has the added benefit of immunizing you against the pit's toxic spores.
Feel like I should ask to see her credentials.
There. That didn't take too long now, did it? Ingest this pill, then go and find the source of the mold. Only there can we begin to understand how to stop it.
Take a mystery pill because a rude lady in a hazmat suit tells you to. Great idea, Jesse.
Ugh. Honestly, did you want me to wrap it in cheese?
Not the taste, the smell. It stinks in here now.
Good. That means the pill is working. The worse it smells, the safer you'll be. Now go. Find the source.
Oh, so now I can go into those places. Oh, okay.
Thanks for the information.
My pleasure. Back to it then.
Terrible. Okay.
This must be the pit Underhill was talking about.
Full, I think.
Ramsey, Ranger Captain, note 7.25. Underhill sent us down this weird-ass threshold looking for whatever's making all these vegetables sprout. I will say this, it smells delicious.
So now I'll take that one, deconstruct it. Because that's a good one. And take this damage while aiming and replace it with the new damage while aiming.
We used to play. All right.
The item was used in the children's ward of a local hospital in blank. Witnesses do not recall where the balloon came from. Therapy dogs, part of a program called Blank, meant to comfort the sick children, were noticeably attracted to the item. They reportedly jumped at the item, licked it when they could. The children claimed the dogs began walking through the halls of the hospital at night, howling in a low pitch. One child described the sound as singing. A few days later, the dogs were all discovered dead, a dark substance leaking from their blank. The hospital staff called local authorities, who called the CDC. Bureau agents intercepted this call and arrived at the scene with blank hours. The item was taken for evaluation along with the remnants of the dogs.
Oh, God. The further I go, the worse it smells.
Great. That wasn't very nice.
Ramsey, Ranger Captain, note 7.28. Wait, 6, 7, whatever. Still in the thresh mold. Ollie's straight up eating the vegetables now, because, well, why not? Mom said, eat your vegetables. Eat too many and your skin will turn green. Green like Ollie's. Hey, Ollie, what'd you find now?
Oh, that wasn't the end, that was just a control point? Great. Discovered in the home of Agent Blank after his young daughter complained of being followed by a rubber duck. According to Agent Blank, the matter was ignored, believed to be the result of the child's imagination until he began to hear the quacking at night. After discovering the item hiding in his daughter's closet, he brought it to the Bureau for study. It was discovered that Agent Blank was bringing home paranatural materials into his home, illegally taking them outside the oldest house. How this may have affected the creation of an altered item is being investigated. Agent Blank has been terminated. Just a ceiling, making sure. This was a dead end.
Is that the source? It's kind of pretty.
Nope. Not pretty.
Okay, here we are. Okay.
Is that the source? It's kind of pretty. Nope. Not pretty. Is that the source? It's kind of pretty. Nope. Not pretty.
Or is that wrong? This should be simple, right? You just kind of run back and forth. Kind of generally stay behind.
Is that the source? It's kind of pretty.
Generally stay behind the barrier.
Nope. Not pretty.
Check to make sure it's defeated.
Oh, good. Oh, need more.
Okay. Can I cause a crash? Oh no. Oh phooey. I think I crashed the game. Yep, I crashed it. Okay, well that's a good place to stop.